All right, so now let's start doing some calculations. We set up the ratios before. Let's do some calculations. Well, I want to find out the angle first. This is very similar to tan. This is so much like tan. That's what makes trigonometry really, really easy and straightforward. Watch this. Here's the cosine of A. Think about what this means. Cosine, so, ka, and of course tangent, which was toa. Look, this is the cosine. You know that this is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's got to be your adjacent here, ADJ here. That's got to be your hypotenuse there. So check this out. If I quickly draw this, there's my angle A. There's the eyeballs that go across to the opposite side. There's my 90 degrees. There's my hypotenuse. That must mean that this is my adjacent. And then, of course, this adjacent would be 3, and the hypotenuse would be 4. My question then is, what is this angle? That's what we're after. And again, we're going to be using this inverse button. Cos inverse, sine inverse. Found on your calculator, I'm going to show you right now, found on your calculator right here. There's cos inverse. There's sine inverse. Right there, right next to the tan inverse. So it's found the same way. You hit the second button and away you go. That'll get you into the inverse functions. Okay, so with that in mind, let's see what this works out to be. Cos A equals to 3/4. Let's go back to this. Cos of A equals to 3/4. Best thing you can do here, folks, then, is to convert the 3/4 into a decimal. Cos A equals to 0.75. Okay, 3/4, 0.75. So in order to find A, you got to get rid of the cos by doing the opposite. Doing the opposite is cos to the -1. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So this is cos -1 of 0.75. Let's figure that out. Cos -1, which is second cos, there's your cos -1 of 0.75. Punch it. Oh, bracket first. Punch it. There we go. You got an answer of 41.4. So this works out to be about, to the nearest angle, 41 degrees. That's how this works. Check it again now with sine. I'll do sine over here. Okay? So sine, remember the ratio. Ka, I'm really messing up my throat by doing that, but oh well. Okay, so sine, I was going to say cosine, but sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So there's your opposite, there's your hypotenuse right there. So let's draw the triangle for that. Okay, notice, here's B. And it doesn't matter how you draw the triangle, because if you look over here, I drew the triangle in this orientation. Over here, I'm drawing it flipped. Who cares? Put the eyeballs down. You know that that's your hypotenuse. You know this is B, your reference angle. Put eyeballs down. There's your opposite. There's your adjacent. So according to this label, that's 4, and that is 7. So if you look at this, the sine of B equals to 4/7. Convert that into a fraction. That might be a little tougher to you in your head. So let's do that here. Clear your calculator. 4 divided by 7 works out to be 0.57. So that's ugly. Well, you know what? Let's just leave this as a fraction then. Let's not convert it to a decimal. Let's just leave it here, because you know and I know in order to solve this, we have to take the inverse of sine -1 to both sides, canceling that out, leaving you B equals to the inverse of 4/7. Notice I've got brackets around that. So bringing up my calculator, clearing it again, we do the inverse sine, there it is, of 4 divided by 7. Just close the bracket. You don't have to convert this into a decimal every time. They give you a fraction, use it. Answer is 34.8 degrees. So 35 degrees is approximately the right degrees. Very, very simple. Look at the next one. I've given you this. Let's see if we can do this quicker than actually drawing this nonsense out every single time. Let's go out and let's just see what we can do in converting that directly into an angle, and then I'm going to see if we can actually draw it. So go back here. How do we solve for C again? Well, take the cos inverse of both sides, right? Cos cancels out, leaving you C equals to the inverse cos of 0.5095. Bring up your calculator. Clear it. The cos inverse. Second cos inverse of 0.5095. 0.5095. And hit the button. Close the bracket. Hit enter. What do you get? 59 degrees. So this, in fact, is 59 degrees. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so again, same thing, inverse sine to both sides. And inverse sine cancels that guy out, leaving you D equals 2. So the inverse sine of 0.5543, second inverse sine of 0.5543, 0.5543, hit enter, and look and behold what we got here. We got 33.66 or 34 degrees. All right. There you go, sports fans. That's how you find the angle.